Welcome to the Gospel Addict Podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Jim Reski.
We're gospel addicts because we believe the gospel of Jesus isn't just good news, it's the best news ever.
We're addicted to the gospel because it doesn't just start us out in the Christian life, it is the Christian life.
Join us as we look at the Bible through the lens of the gospel.
Thanks so much for listening.
All right, ready to dive into one of the most enduring stories ever told. The Prodigal Son, right?
Classic.
You think you know it, but with Tim Keller's take, we're going to find some stuff you never considered. Like, seriously, layers.
What gets me is how Keller makes this ancient text feel like it was written yesterday.
Right.
Doesn't hold back on how radical this message from Jesus really is.
Okay, so picture this. Younger son walks right up to his dad and demands his inheritance. Basically saying, Dad, I wish you were dead, just give me my stuff.
Bold move.
To say the least, right?
And to really get it, you got to understand the ancient Near East. Land wasn't just property, it was wrapped up in who you were your whole life.
So it's like this son is asking his father to just disappear, erase himself.
Exactly. And the father, going against everything their culture says, he agrees. Divides his bios, Keller points out the Greek word, means life itself. This father is willing to face being rejected in the worst way to honor his son's request. Talk about sacrifice.
Makes you wonder what was going through his head watching his son walk away with everything. The heartbreak, right?
Totally. And that's where we start to see Jesus, through this story, changing how we see God. Forget that harsh judge. This is a God who runs to us, embraces us, piles on love, even when we're set on running the other way.
It's pretty amazing. That kind of generosity, you don't see that much even today.
No kidding. And that's what the son finds when he crawls back totally defeated. His plan was to earn his way back, work as a hired hand, make things right.
But that's not how it goes down.
Nope. Before he can even get an apology out, the father cuts him off, hugs him, and tells the servants to get a feast ready. The best robe, the finest ring, the fatted calf. Huge celebration.
What a welcome home. Gives me chills. You can practically feel the relief for that son.
Beautiful picture of love and forgiveness, no strings attached. He expects to be punished, rejected, but instead, this overwhelming, totally undeserved grace. That's the heart of the gospel right there.
Okay, so happy ending, right?
Uh-oh.
Here comes the older brother, and he is not happy about this family reunion.
Now it gets good. He's not just annoyed, he is fuming. Keller points out that his anger over that fatted calf, it reveals something pretty messed up inside.
Can't stand that his brother's getting away with it, right? After all, he's the one who's been following the rules.
Yeah, and his anger shows he doesn't get who his dad is, what he values. This isn't just about a good meal, it's about how much this party cost, how rare and lavish it all is. The older brother's thinking he's the one who's earned this.
Keeping score. Thinks all his good son points mean he gets to call the shots on his dad's love.
Exactly. And that is elder brother syndrome at its finest. It's not that in-your-face rebellion. It's thinking you've earned God's love.
Yeah.
Like being good puts God in your debt or something.
And the way he's talking to his father, like he's spitting fire, can't even call him dad anymore.
It really gets to you. He's so blinded by resentment, this feeling that he's owed something, he misses the whole point. It's not about what the younger son deserves. It's about the father's love. No limits.
And this is where I'm really into Keller's take. He just leaves it hanging. We never hear what the older son says back.
Yeah.
Total cliffhanger.
And it's brilliant. Makes us look in the mirror, Which brother am I? Throwing a fit or getting in on the party?
Right. Such a powerful question. And Keller doesn't stop at the story. He uses it to blow apart everything we thought about God, sin, even salvation.
Totally. Like with how God is shown here. We always picture this stern dad laying down the law. But this father, he's different.
Practically sprinting to that younger son, no hesitation, doesn't even wait for a good apology, just pure joy having his son back.
Keller really drives home that this outpouring, it's not just about forgiveness. It's about the father chasing after both his sons. The younger one's rebellion, the older one's bitterness. He feels them both deeply.
Like our behavior doesn't change how much God loves us. Our success, even if we say sorry.
Right on. And that leads into how Keller redefines sin. Easy to put the younger son in that box, sinner, and the older one's the saint. But Keller's like, hold on, they're both lost, just in different ways.
Okay, now I gotta know more. How can the older brother, Mr. Perfect, be lost?
It's all about what's driving you. Younger son, he's lost in pleasure, instant gratification. But the older brother, just as lost in being good, needing to earn his dad's love through following the rules.
So not about being a good person checking those boxes.
Nope. They're both stuck trying to earn love, totally missing out on just getting to enjoy it.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Exactly. And that's why Keller says real salvation, it's about giving up control, letting go of doing it all ourselves, and accepting that love, no strings attached.
Which takes us to this true elder brother idea. What's Keller getting at there?
This is where he ties it all together. He reminds us that with Jesus, we do have a true elder brother.
Wait, so Jesus is like the older brother who got it right?
Kind of, but it's deeper than that. Think about it. Jesus is the ultimate example of someone who walked away from all the perks, humbled himself, faced unimaginable rejection, all to get us back to the Father.
So instead of holding on to his position, his rights, Jesus sacrifices it all so we can be right with God.
Exactly. And that, Keller says, that kind of love, that costly grace, it should wreck us in a good way, change what motivates us. We aren't scrambling to get back in God's good graces. We're humbled by what's already been done for us.
Man, that's powerful stuff. So how does this true elder brother change how we're supposed to live?
The million-dollar question, right?
Yep.
Keller's challenging all of us, younger son, older son, whoever we see ourselves in.
So for those of us feeling like that younger son, maybe wandered from how we were raised, how we thought faith was supposed to be, what's the takeaway?
You're never too far gone. That's a lie. God's grace will find you. That's the whole point of the story, right? The Father's always running. Doesn't matter how far down the wrong route we've gone.
No finish line we got to cross before God loves us.
Exactly. And for the older brother types, those of us trying to be good enough to earn God's favor, Keller's got something even more radical for us.
It's not being good.
It's more like letting go of needing to be right, to be in control. See, our goodness, it's important, but it can get in the way if it stops us from realizing we need grace.
So you're saying we can be good for the wrong reasons?
For sure. Like trying to pay for a gift defeats the purpose. Real freedom, it comes from realizing we can't earn God's love, just got to receive it.
It's like we're invited to this amazing party, but we're stuck outside arguing about who deserves to get in.
The invitation's for everyone. Past mistakes, how righteous we think we are, doesn't matter. That's the beauty of this, the kind of grace at the heart of it all.
Really makes you think. Story's thousands of years old, but man, it gets to the core of who we are, what we struggle with.
Reminds us that no matter how hard we try to earn it, to deserve it, God's love, it's a constant, a free gift for everyone.
Wrapping up this deep dive, I keep coming back to what Keller leaves us with. If you really get this kind of love the Father has, how does it change things? How you see yourself, how you see others, the whole world, something to think about, right? This simple story, these two sons, a father who loves without limits, it can totally change how we understand God, ourselves, everything.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Gospel Addict Podcast. Feel free to contact us via email at gospeladdictpodcast@gmail.com.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and remember, on your worst days, you're never beyond the reach of God's grace, and on your best days, you're never beyond the need of God's grace.
See you next time.